guys, Tim Knox here again on another Real Estate Minute where, as you know, we don't really say anything in under a minute. It's just a catchy name, right? Real estate, because the real estate 5 or 6 minutes doesn't fit.
Doesn't have the same ring.
It doesn't. Hey, today I am at Movement Mortgage, as you can see there, talking to my buddy Tom Marion. Tom is with Movement Mortgage, and you know, getting a mortgage is such a big, important part of the deal. So I wanted to bring Tom to you. And before we do anything, tell us a little bit about Movement Mortgage.
Yeah, so we've been in business now for 9 years, been in the Huntsville market for about 3 years. In the 9 years that we've been in business, we have grown. We're the number 7 largest lender in the U.S. now.
Wow.
So yeah, we're in 48 states. We're kind of a big deal.
You are a big deal, and you dressed up for me today.
Yeah. Well, you know.
But you didn't say I'm make fun of my lavender shirt. So let me get rid of these. So seriously, what I want to talk about today is tell us a little bit about the mortgage industry as you see it. Of course, in the real estate business right now, inventory is very low, but getting the right mortgage is an important part of the deal. So what are you seeing out there?
Yeah, so right now, the biggest thing is the inventory shortage. And, you know, you may qualify for a certain dollar amount, and you may be really locked into that certain dollar amount. So you need to know what your buying power is.
Right.
And we can help do that. The way we do it, rather than having the traditional pre-qualification letter, the pre-approval letter, we call those Charmin because they're basically toilet paper.
Right.
What we do, we actually take the full application and we send it to an underwriter, and within 6 business hours, we have you underwriting approved.
Wow. Well, let's break that down, because one of the things I talk about a lot on this program is getting pre-qualified, which is basically just a ticket to the dance. And then getting pre-approved, which is getting in the dance and being allowed to dance. And then the actual underwriter process is where you get to meet someone and take them home. I don't know. It's a house analogy.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I work with someone, I at least want to make sure they are pre-qualified before I go show them houses. Because if they only qualify for, you know, a $200,000 mortgage, I'm wasting their time and mine showing them anything else. But what you're saying is you actually kind of breeze past pre-qualification, past pre-approval, and go right to, is it pre-underwriting or is it underwriting?
It's underwriting.
All right, and you can do that within 6 business hours.
6 business hours, yeah.
Wow. So that means you're not only pre-approved and pre-qualified, the loan is really almost there where you can, and I would imagine you can take that to the seller and say, hey, we're done. We're pre-approved, we're pre-qualified, it's underwritten, we've got the loan in our back pocket.
Absolutely. I mean, it's basically like going and making a cash offer at that point.
Yeah.
So it is fully underwritten.
Okay.
But once you go under contract, we've got 7 days to get our title work ordered, to get our appraisal ordered, and to get any other follow-up docs we might need for an underwriter.
Okay.
Because we all know underwriters can be ticky and God complexes, but that's okay. We love them anyway, God complex and all.
Heart surgeons and underwriters often have a
fighter pilots.
Yeah, a God complex. So that really can make it easier for someone to buy a home because they've got that money in their back pocket, and it will shorten. So the time from contract to close then can be what, a couple of 3 weeks?
8 to 14 days,
which is incredible. That's really quick. So. What are you seeing? And we talked a little bit about the shortage now, but let's talk about the credit side of things, because as you know, we are everything revolves not necessarily on what you can afford, but what you want to pay a month. What is your advice to someone who is looking at homes right now? Because there is that I had a client that was pre-qualified for like 150, but in the real world, he could only afford to pay payments on about half of that.
Sure.
So what are you telling folks as far as being realistic about what they can qualify for and what they really should spend?
Yeah, so usually what I do, I'll sit down, analyze their whole situation, and discuss with them and say, okay, what are you comfortable with? Because on the flip side of what you just said, a lot of times people qualify for 200, 300, and they're like, oh no, I wanted my payment to be about $700 a month all in.
Right.
And so we figure out, okay, this is where you are. Your interest rate is this, so your principal and interest is going to be this, and we assume property taxes and homeowners or escrow will be around this much.
Okay.
So it gives us a ballpark of what you need to be looking at.
Yeah, it really does come down to what they're comfortable with.
Right.
Just because you qualify for a certain amount does not mean you're going to be comfortable making those payments. So
Sure.
you need to be realistic.
You don't want to be what we call house poor.
Right.
You know,
Which a lot of folks are.
Yeah, and you're working to pay that payment.
Yeah.
You don't get enjoyment of your home that way.
Really quickly, I want to talk about one other case. I have a couple of recent clients I talked to that are underwater as far as their home mortgage goes. They owe way more on the house than the house is now worth. Other than giving them a hug, what do you do for these folks? What's your best advice?
So there are a couple of refi programs that are still out there.
Are these the HARP
The
programs?
HARP, yeah. The HARP or the Home Ready program.
Okay.
They are coming to an end, I believe, next June.
Mm-hmm.
But they were supposed to come to an end the last 2 Junes too, and they've extended them. So
Okay.
it might be that they can do that.
Mm-hmm.
There are some caveats with that. The mortgage had to be pre-07. It has to be either a conventional or a FHA mortgage. But there's also a VA loan. If they had a VA loan and they're underwater. So there are options.
Okay.
Best suggestion, pick up the phone and call us.
Yeah, and,
You know?
and I think that's great advice because it's really easy to get, all kinds of things off the internet. And that's another thing before we leave I want to talk about is the fact that you're here. You are in Huntsville,
I'm here.
Alabama. I talked to a lot of folks that are doing, I won't mention names, USAA and other online Quicken. Talk about, and I can do this all day long because when I do business with someone, I like having someone here that if I want to come down and see you, I can do that. Or if I
Right.
want to, get you on the phone or have coffee, address that because the internet is so prevalent now. Everybody's like, I'll just go online and get a loan. But it's really, from my experience, it's never as easy as they make it sound.
That's true. And I like to think we're kind of a hybrid there because we do everything online.
Right.
You can do your application. We've got an app. It's 30 minutes start to finish. The whole thing can be done online. However, like you said, I am here.
Right.
So if you want to come and have that face-to-face and sit down and discuss, because this is the biggest financial thing you're ever going to do.
Right.
So you really need to kind of...
Yeah, if you're about to buy a house, and you know how things work when the loan process is going. Sometimes there's a glitch. Sometimes there's a need for more information. In my mind, it's just easier to do if you've got someone on the ground here locally that you can talk to. Really quick, the last thing, then I'm going to let you go because he's wearing shorts and flip-flops and he's headed out somewhere. I do want to talk really briefly about the credit situation of some of the clients that we talk to that are they've kind of messed up some things in the past. They've got credit scores are in the 600 to 700 range. What are your thoughts there about, and again, coming from a realistic point of view about qualifying for a home mortgage? Should they look at maybe cleaning up their credit first? What is that process? If someone comes to you and their credit scores are in the 600-ish, what do you advise?
So first of all, where did they get that information? Did it come from, they've got a Capital One card and it says on their monthly statement, this is your score. Well, folks, there are 3 credit bureaus.
Right.
So if they're showing you one, that's one of 3. Also, that's a soft pull. It's not actual factual information.
Right. It's like a Zestimate.
Exactly. We all know about the Zestimates.
Right.
Or you can go to Credit Karma. Well, Credit Karma, I've seen them be off as much as 100 points.
Wow,
Higher
really?
or lower, so you don't know.
Yeah.
But all you got to do our quick application, and in 30 minutes, you know exactly what the score is. And let's say you are in the 600 range. Well, from low 600 to upper 600s, that's going to be quite a difference in your interest rate and even your qualification power. So what I would like to do is take a look at it and let's see, okay, if we wait 30 or 60 days and you do XYZ, we can get that score bumped up to 750 or whatever. And this is how much it's going to better your situation.
Yeah. I think that's important to point out is because even if you do have dings on your credit, there are things you can do to improve that credit score and qualify. Hey,
it's not pay off the credit card. People think, oh, well, if I owe that, if I'll just pay it completely off, my scores will get better.
Right.
That's not true.
Yeah.
Sometimes
doesn't
that can
erase the
actually
past.
be negative.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah. And so if you've got questions on that or a home mortgage, Tom is the guy to see. Tom, how can they find you?
256-417-4908 or movement.com/Tom.Marion.
That's right. And tell Tom I sent you.
Please.
It will not help your situation at all, but I just like to make sure he knows I'm out there. So, hey, if you have any questions for me when it comes to buying or selling your home, 256-679-0704, or look me up on the web, timknox.com. And
He's your guy.
I'm your guy with real estate, and he's your guy with...
I'm your guy with mortgages.
See, that branding works.
It does. We're your guy.
We're your guy. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
We're your
guys.
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 We weren't ready for that.